Hi, it's Grant from Lincoln Girls Who Code. Um, just want to go over the idea that we're going to do for our next exercise in club. This video could be for parents, volunteers, other teachers, or students of the club. We're using a language called Racket, and this Dr. Racket is our program development environment, and we have our image library over here. So this is like the help desk file for all of the different image functions that are available. Um, so if you haven't done it before, we actually will not be using the main language Racket. We're going to go to language, choose language, and choose this beginning student teaching language. This helps us because it simplifies what's available in the language and also makes the error messages more easy to understand for a beginner. It doesn't mean that it's any less powerful or that or it's even easier necessarily. It's supposed to be helpful. It's a gradual learning process rather than trying to do it all at once. And I'm gonna add a teach pack. Looks like maybe they're already added, but just to show you, we want to use this to HTTP image. Okay, tells me I already added it. So down here we can see this yellow shows me that we need to click run because the language here says I'm still in Racket. So click run. Now our language has changed to beginning student. We have these image and universe teach packs available. Okay, so last week we learned a little bit about images. We can, in a Racket expression, which means for Racket to understand, I think of it like a sentence. So a Racket expression is one English sentence. And instead of a capital letter at the beginning and a period at the end, we have an open parentheses at the beginning and an open parenthesis at the end. And I will type circle. That is a function we have available. We can see here, to make a circle, we can give it a radius, which this is a little confusing to read because it's actually code, but I know it needs to be a real number and not negative. So we'll give it the number 50. So that means the radius will be 50. The mode, if you click on mode, you can find out what it is. A mode, well, this function mode x will return true if it's solid, the symbol solid, the string solid, the symbol outline, or the string outline. You can use either one. Let's make it solid. We're just going to stick with strings right now. We can do symbols another time, and we'll do a color, red. So you can see some examples here. Sometimes if I don't understand, what this is trying to tell me, and I just want to make a shape, I'll just look at the examples, because it's pretty easy to understand this. You can give someone a recipe like this, and you can go start making things. What we really want to understand, though, is that each one of these inputs is a certain kind of data, and the kind of data it is matters. So a radius can't be a string because it wouldn't make sense. We want it to be a number. The mode could be a number, it could be mode 0 or mode 1 or mode 2, but that's harder to understand for a human. So we're using strings to communicate to humans, saying we want a solid filled in circle and we want it to be red. Hit enter, we'll draw a circle. We can do a square. Now this is something you might have a question about, and the girls might have a question too. Why is this square with size 50 so much smaller than the circle with size 50? Should be pretty obvious if you know a little bit about geometry, but if you don't know what this number 50 actually represents, it's confusing why the square is given the same number, is smaller than the circle. The thing is, this 50 refers to the radius, so it's only half the width of the circle. And this number 50 is the side length of a square, so each side is 50 pixels. So if we want the square to be the same size, we actually have to double that number. Oops. Well, here's something. White space doesn't matter. So if you ever make a mistake like this and you're too lazy to hit delete a bunch of times, the extra white space doesn't matter. All that matters is that the parentheses are open and closed. We have to have a complete sentence, or else Racket will give us an error like this. Well, actually, it won't even let us finish it. But anyways, I'm getting a little bit off track. So this is basic shapes, but we're limited to what's available here. We can combine shapes and compose them by using all of these different functions, overlaying images. So we can overlay, and really, like, if you want to help out in club, like being able to read these and understand them and kind of get an idea of what's available, how we can compose images together. Overlay just puts them directly on top of each other and aligns with their center points. The overlay align function, you can give it an X and a Y position to say, not exactly position, but you can see overlay left middle will create this. And one of the nice things about these examples is they're real code. So I can copy it, paste it into my Dr. Racket, and I can get the same shape. And then if I want to, I can change these values. Let's see what happens if I do it on right top. What will that do? Yeah, see, that overlays them in a different alignment. So just taking programs that are already written like this and messing with the values can help you learn the behavior and get the effects that you want. So anyways, that's kind of a quick overview of just a few of the functions that are available. You can see that this page is quite long. There's all kinds of different triangles you can draw, polygons, text, curves, lines. There's a lot of stuff you can do for drawing. But what I want to do in class is actually start to make some new shapes that we can make. For example, in club, I saw a couple of the girls created a tree by using the above function. So the above function will place one shape above vertically the other. So a triangle size with, so this triangle is an equilateral triangle with sides 50, solid, I'm going to do dark green, above a rectangle. And let's see, if I don't know exactly what rectangle is, so I can put my cursor here, I can right click on it and do search and help desk for rectangle. You can also press the F1 button. And this is what I'm looking for, a rectangle from to_HTTP image. Click it, it'll take me right there. Rectangle, width, height, mode, color. So the first number I give it is the width, and I want the width, this is supposed to be the trunk of the tree, so the width is not going to be 50 pixels wide. That wouldn't look quite right. Let's try 10 pixels, and let's give the height, let's just try something. Let's try 20. We'll see how it looks. Solid and brown. Okay, it looks like a pretty good tree. Maybe maybe let's make it a regular green. Oh, it's not even green, it's black because I spelled dark green incorrectly. So if you don't put a color that Racket recognizes, it'll just make it black. There we go. There we have a tree. So what we learned in club is that once you have something that you make and you want to keep making it, we can define it as a variable. Define tree. And there's two ways to do it. You can either take the image itself and paste it in, or we can take the code, oops, and we can paste it in here. So this area up top is called the definitions area. So when I click run, just a moment.